Now, this is the first in many basic videos on how to do basic gun spins and things of that sort. So, in this video we're going to go over doing the forward spin and the reverse spin and how to lead into it. Now, this may look super complex, but in all reality it's actually one of the more easy Western show skills to learn. So we're going to start out really basic. What you're going to want to do is figure out how the gun falls. So if you have a replica, which I suggest you have, or an aluminum copy, which I've had a couple of for a while, you're going to know well not to try to spin it with just your finger. You want to use your whole hand and your whole arm to spin it. Because if you try to just spin it with your finger, it's not going to end well. So, first thing you want to try to figure out is which way should you start spinning it first. Well, most people start spinning it forward, because if you drop it, it falls forward. Now, go ahead and drop it just like that. So just go and open up your hands, keep them out here whenever you drop it. Just like that. And now from here, I want you to take your fingers, bring them up front, take it and flick the gun back up to your hand. So just get used to that. Just do it a couple times. Get used to it. Try to variate hands too, because you're going to want to learn how to do both hands. It is cool whenever people know how to do it one-handed. Even if it's just one-handed, like, it's still pretty cool looking. But it's always better to have both hands because it's really cool to have a backup. So from there, after you figured this out, what I want you to do is try to figure out how to get it to come all the way around. Try to figure out the momentum, just like that. So you're going to go down and kind of go around as you drop it. So drop it and then bring it around. So now get used to doing this, getting used to catching it. Not too hard to do. If you get pretty decent at it, you can try to do this, which is where you cock it as it comes around. A little bit tricky. I'm still not too used to it unless I'm staring right at the gun. So just figure this out. And after you figure that out, what you're going to want to do is try to figure out how to do the double. So you know how to do the one and catch. Try to do a double and catch. So 1, 2. 1, 2. Try to figure out that momentum loop. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just like that. And once you figure it out, you should get pretty decently fast at being able to do the circle and catching it. And like I said, variate hands. Make sure your other hand, this is kind of hard to keep in frame, make sure your other hand knows how to do it. You're going to want to try to learn both at the same time. That way whenever you get a second gun, you can do both. Just like that. We'll be getting into tosses a little later on in a different video, but we're going to go back to one-handed here, back in the right hand. Now we're going to try to learn the reverse. Now for this, when you drop it, you know it goes this way. So for momentum, you're going to want to push forward, which causes it to roll around the other way. So just really over-exaggerate it if you have to, just to figure out how to get that momentum to work. And once you've figured it out, you can get really fast at it. Now, we're going to try to figure out how to do the double. So for double, just try to learn how to loop that momentum twice. It's a little tricky, but once you get it, I just did a triple, my bad, but once you get it, you should be able to learn how to infinitely loop it. So for forward, infinite loop, you're doing the same thing over and over. So just try to figure it out and get a feel for it. Now if you want to stop it going this way, it's going to be a bit tricky. Most people usually, after they learn the double reverse, take it and as it's going forward, stick your fingers into it at the right time and stop the gun and flick it back up and catch it. So as it's coming, catch it, flick it up and catch it. So just like that. So we're going to do a one loop, fingers up, catch. One loop, fingers up, catch. I just did it One loop, fingers up, catch. See, I'm so used to it that I kind of force myself to do all these extra fancy loops for no reason. But once you figure out how to do one loop, finger up, no catch, or catch, try to do it without catching it and just keep it going in reverse. So, after you figured out how to go in forward infinitely and backwards infinitely, try to figure out how to go forward for a while. Catch it with your fingers and then flick it and go in reverse. So after you've figured that out, try to teach your left hand how to do it. I try to keep my left hand in the shot, but it's like nearly impossible. That's called a border shift. We'll learn that later. It's pretty simple, but we'll get more in depth with that one later. So take it, go all the way this way, catch with your fingers, flick it the other way. And then as it's going this way, you can catch it, because the handle will always be coming towards your hand, and it's easier to know exactly when to judge how to catch it, which is why most people, instead of catching it while going forward, they catch it while going backwards. It's much easier to catch the handle whenever it's going backwards. So, after a while, you should be good. So forward, with that same momentum loop, kind of going like this, literally moving in a loop you'd expect the gun to be moving in, and then backwards, expecting it to move in exactly the same way, just in reverse. So forward, backwards. And starting backwards is harder than starting forward too, which is why most people start forward. Another thing to keep in mind, always keep your fingers out. Never put them in, never tuck them like this. Get in the habit of keeping them out. Because if you get in the habit of doing this, that can cause problems. For a while I was doing that with my left hand. I was doing this, and that was causing the gun to fly out of my hand, just like that. See? So, yeah. Alright, so this has been basic forward spin and basic back spin. Thank you guys for watching.